Hello everybody, and thank you for the opportunity to reflect on the power of therapeutic photography for both individual and for community healing. I hope to put up some photographs here. That's me, that's who I am, from the Northern Health Trust. And these are some of the people who have participated in our therapeutic photography sessions. But I want to start with some of the basics. So why do we need creative healing? Are we saying that the traditional solutions aren't enough? And what can those creative solutions offer? So if I look at the big picture of our regional mental health strategy, to understand the extent of the mental health problems here, we have emotional problems reported as experienced by 1 in 10 young people, and that's not a good start to life. Loneliness impacting on people of all ages, 1 in 5 of us. And trauma, 2 in 5 of us have experienced a traumatic event related to the Troubles. And overall, we have 25% higher prevalence of mental health problems than England. And our spend locally is 27% less than England, 20% less than Ireland. So you get the picture. And bear in mind that the cost to the Northern Ireland economy of mental health problems has been put at 3.4 billion annually. So this is a difficulty that we have, more need than we can meet, and many people here will have lived experience of this. And that's the scale of the problem, but what about the solution? And how is therapeutic photography a vital element for individual participants and for the wider community? I'm just going to occasionally scroll through. These are photographs that have been taken by the participants. Gives you something to look at other than myself. So within the Northern Health Trust, we have taken a place-based approach to mental health. And my role is really what I call democratising mental health. It's empowering people and peers for self-care and engaging with the organisations and systems that surround people so they can actively support people's mental health. Our mission is to make it easy for others to participate in your mental well-being. Remove the stigma, remove the fear. And it's understandable that people have fear in relation to mental health and well-being. They feel if they interfere, they may make things worse. But we want to ensure that people understand how to help others and how they can have a role alongside traditional services. And let me briefly explain then how we do this and how creative solutions have a key role to play. So we recognise that building support in the places where people spend their time, in schools, in their workplace, at home and in their community is vital. So we have 138 schools fully engaged in 3 levels of accreditation as a Take 5 Steps to Wellbeing school, each actively supporting the health or mental health of their pupils and equally of their staff. This covers nursery, primary, post-primary, special schools, the education other than school sector. And the simple 5 steps to well-being contribute to improving well-being in its fullest sense, both physical and emotional, so people can feel good and function well. And teaching staff are our best advocates for this programme, and it's spreading regionally. Another strand of our work is business in the community. We work with them to accredit employers who are actively looking after the mental health of their employees. And last year, 12 employers received a Take 5 workplace accreditation. And this year, we're working with a further 14 workplaces. And they tell us that Take 5 gives us a structure to base our strategy on. we can now plan, execute and monitor activities in a positive, reflective way. And across the community, we have 440 people in the community upskilled as Take 5 ambassadors, and they in turn have upskilled a further 400 people that they know reaching into their neighbourhoods. And that's over 800 people who have become active on mental health prevention in the community, supported with implementation resources and by each other. And over 100 of those people have gone on to be mental health connectors, upskilled in early intervention, living near you, accessible, ready to help. And all this is losing stigma, upskilling the public as a mental health resource for the public, democratising mental health. And just as we embrace and empower schools, employers and community leaders, our reach also extends into the creative arts, who have a strong association with mental well-being and by their very nature bring creative solutions. And recognising this and the demand that we receive from our service users, we have established what has become a very solid partnership with Belfast Exposed. Their work fits so well with our Arts and Wellbeing strategy, creating healthy lives through the arts, where we integrate the arts into our mental health and care strategies, and it's a central strand of our place-based working. And the Belfast Exposed therapeutic photography programme is leading the way in showing how this art form makes a major contribution to improving the mental well-being of Northern Irish society. So what is the programme and how does it work? So it engages adults through photography as a vehicle for healing and recovery. It's delivered locally. A session lasts 2 hours. It's held fortnightly over 8 to 10 weeks. And participants visit local areas of beauty and heritage, something we have an abundance of in the northern area. And they learn about photography. They capture some great images, like the ones on display. And they develop their wellness, their support for each other, and share their photographs with others through exhibitions. And let's reflect a bit on the key aspects of this programme and how it works, why it's therapeutic, and how it contributes to both individual and community healing. And I'll also explain why we have grown our investment in this service and why it attracts such high praise from our participants. So let's start with health equality. This programme is free, all equipment is provided, and it's an affordable activity for people. It can be done on your phone as well as your fancy camera. This is an important aspect, as we know that mental health difficulties are higher in areas of deprivation. Participants in this programme come from diverse backgrounds, people with professional careers, people who are currently unemployed. They connect with each other, and those who drive give a lift to those who don't. It's accessible, and participants are brought together by photography. And what sort of people use this programme? Well, it's a range, and the acuity of mental health problems is a real mix. People with chronic anxiety, those who have felt suicidal, people with autism, diagnosed or not, people in mental health recovery following acute treatment, people living with schizophrenia. Some are very isolated, which is something that often accompanies mental health problems and makes recovery even harder. And I've met participants for whom this was their first real venture across their door since isolating under the pandemic. And this is reflective of the considerable needs that there are in society. And there's a range of therapeutic photography programs targeted for clients across trust services. And care professionals will direct their service users to the program, as do our mental health connectors. And we also provide therapeutic photography programs where people self-register. Engagement of participants is key to each program. People already experience anxiety, need to feel comfortable with how the program works. It's a safe space where they can explore and learn about their mental well-being as much about photography. It's where they learn to support each other. It's important, therefore, that this program has been co-designed into a structured and guided engagement where participants experience enhancement to their self-esteem and build personal growth. Photography is very accessible. It doesn't carry the stigma that other therapies often do. It's not seen as threatening in that same way. Revealing your vulnerable self, scared of what you might discover, stigmatized by others. Therapeutic photography isn't seen that way by participants, and it's a powerful source of healing for participants. So much of our photography, as you can see, takes place outdoors. There's strong documented evidence on how outdoor space, the blue and the green, the coast and the rural, are good for your mental well-being. And now think about not just appreciating this, but pausing to photograph and study it. Having that photo forever and sharing the meaning of the picture in discussion with others and in an exhibition. Discussing the image and what it means to you with others and finding out what it means to them. And the photographs you see behind you stimulate memories and produce a strong emotional response. Photographs are way into discussions that open up therapy. It creates a context for sharing and healing. The social connections that are encouraged and formed naturally through WhatsApp groups and other means are organic and real and help someone move from feeling that they are struggling alone to feeling part of a support community. And how does the therapy piece work? Well, like in all of our mental health place-based programs, it incorporates implementation of the Take 5 Steps to Wellbeing, which is an established and evidence-based approach that works well in many settings. The program also recognises that people are reluctant to talk about the state of their own mental health. They are often more likely to open up to strangers than to friends, family, or those they know. And photography is a form of self-expression that allows them to open up and share and feel the therapeutic benefits when in a group of peers, guided by trained and experienced practitioners. They use methodologies which explore issues, foster reflection, bring about dialogue and critical thinking, build social connection, and promotes collective problem solving. There is a sense of individual healing enhanced by the group nature of the program. And a photograph is a permanent record, an image that encapsulates and communicates. Visual is instant, it's impactful, and it resonates. Participants are documenting their experience through photography, which generates reflection and group dialogue. The narrative and picture together grow understanding and drive that action for social change and for community healing. The exhibitions that we hold extend the reach of this program to many others. And the wonderful thing about the therapeutic photography program is that while it is strongly evidence-based and delivered by trained practitioners, it feels very natural and organic to participants. Photography is a natural way of self-expression that reflects individual feelings and experiences that become a collective understanding. Emotions are validated and empathy built. A sense of belonging emerges as participants feel empowered to help each other. The collective story provides healing at both individual and community levels. And part of how it works is a collective force that it provides. My work is about growing self-efficacy, helping people to take better care of their own mental health. Anything we do, especially something as complex as mental health, we need support and guidance. We all need a little help along the way. And throughout the program, participants are learning not just about photography, but about themselves, self-discovery, and growing confidence. They learn about each other, They build relationships in the days between the sessions, and they continue these after the program is complete. Peer support is an essential accompaniment to self-support, and you spend so much more time with your peers, your family, and your friends than you will do with healthcare professionals. On these sessions, people use their lived experience to help each other, and by doing so, help themselves. And through photography, we are creating a community of people who are individually vulnerable and at the same time collectively strong. The Belfast Exposed sessions offer people a door to an activity they feel they can join. It can be hard, really hard for people in mental health recovery to do the simple things that many people take for granted. But through this program, they gain in confidence, they experience empathy, and they start to realize what they can achieve. And the key to the success of this program is how it operates as an inclusive process. Everyone can tell their story, and as a collective, the question of why things are this way is explored. How does the image educate, and what can we do about it? People are empowered to become change makers, to make a difference in their lives and the lives of other participants and in wider society. Photographic therapy is a particularly effective technique for mental health recovery and well-being. It combines that expressive power of the photograph with the individual healing potential of that shared experience, all in a safe and supportive space for individuals to explore their emotions and to connect with others. And the healing individually ripples out into collective healing across the community as we grow advocates for therapeutic photography, advocates for mental health, and change makers in each locality. And how do the staff of the Trust and participants feel? Well, I'll share with you a few quotes from them. This is one from our renal group. We had our session of photography this morning and at the renal walk with Belfast Exposed. And I wanted to feed back on how great it was. The patients were very enthusiastic, really enjoyed the session. It also made it easier for them to talk to one another about renal health, and there was something common to chat about, the photography. The staff also enjoyed it, and our specialist nurse was really impressed. It was something very different for her within a healthcare setting. And we find this every time we run this program, we get professionals say to us, I haven't thought of that, but actually it was brilliant. One from our base group in Ballycastle for people with a learning disability. Mervyn and Sam from Belfast Exposed were brilliant. They came in, gave everyone a camera, getting the service users out and about in the community, engaging with each other and taking photographs. Last week we had 12 altogether. Sam linked on to someone who has struggles with mobility and treats everybody equally. From the taking of the photos, the service users created a beautiful montage of things that are important to them in life and got the chance to bring their important things to base. This was such a productive activity, and I really feel this would benefit any group. So some of the participants have told us really, really positive things about this program. I learned a lot about myself through the photography group. Looking back on my photos, I can see such a difference in how I was actually looking at life in general. In my early photos, most of them had me hiding something, a tree, a branch, or an obstacle at the forefront of what I was supposed to be capturing. And now I am actively avoiding this. It shocked me that this was me hiding my true feelings, like wearing an invisible mask. And I'm so glad to see that I rarely do that anymore. Another participant said, the fellowship of this group is very supportive. fun and laughter and serious support when needed, and chats around the table over a cup of coffee afterwards, time to share our stories and encourage each other. The therapeutic space has really benefited me. So we get really good feedback. We know that this is really good value from the social return on investment. And we've been able to build up a really strong working relationship with Belfast Exposed. And just briefly, where do I want this to go from here? Well, we want to continue the programme. We've just launched another series of sessions in our area between April and June. We want to grow the evidence as well. We know about the use of the Warwick-Edinburgh mental wellbeing scale. It shows the extent of improvement for participants. And we want to develop ways in which we can support people once they've been through the programme so they can keep and build in those connections that they have fostered. And I hope that you have enjoyed some of the images from behind me, and I hope I've explained why I'm committed to democratising mental health, how we've gone about this, and demonstrated the place that therapeutic photography has in this approach to mental health. It broadens the range of solutions we can offer people, and I would encourage everyone from other sectors, statutory, community, voluntary and business, to commit to supporting and extending therapeutic photography in similar fashion. You won't regret it, and we will all benefit. And I'd also encourage each of us to consider how photography and therapeutic photography can benefit ourselves. I'll end with a quotation from a song by Leonard Cohen that for me illustrates how mental health and photography come together. In the song, he's reflecting on human frailty of us all, and he notes there's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. The crack in our lives, whatever nature they take, are not voids but opportunities. They allow growth, learning and innovation to take place. They let the light in. And as we know, photography is a word of Greek origin that means drawing with light. Thank you all for listening.